This is the 23rd of April 2000 and I'm on my way to EC0650, the Bullion mine. This is on the Salmon River breaks. I'm looking down on the Salmon River, looking east up the river over there. You can see the bridge down here where I've parked. That's this is a foot trail or a pack trail that I'm on. It's the only way in here. The sign down there says it's 3 miles to the Bullion. I think you can see it switchbacking across the slope down here below me a little bit several times. Comes on around and back over here and goes on up the ridge. It kind of switchbacks all the way up the ridge here. So I should be about halfway up there. We'll go on up and take a look. I just wanted to give you a little panoramic view on the way up. Well, I finally made it up to the Bullion mine. I'm looking back down at the Salmon River. Salmon's at about an elevation of 2,000 feet. You can see the road going up the south side of the river there. Comes up from Riggins. Riggins is off to the west down over there, down the valley. I'm up at about 4,000 feet now. If I look back down over here, I think we can see the trail. Comes up in there, I believe that's it. It's a little hard to see through this viewfinder. In any case, it goes around the point and goes back down to the river to that bridge. I'm here at a little flat where there was probably some sort of a device. You can see this big flywheel here. Some scrap metal laying around, part of an engine block or something. And then over here we have a steam boiler, and looks like it was probably a compressor. I think this is the piston right there for the compressor, steam driven, and here's a big old boiler. I don't know if they had a little stamp mill here or not. I can't really see anything. There's a nice flat up here that I suspect used to be a cabin maybe or something right in these trees here. In any case, I don't see any remains of anything right now. The mine itself is over here a little southeast of me. You can see the waste dump right there for one of the adits. I was told these were closed by the Forest Service, by the people in at Slate Creek. So we'll go see and make sure they are. There's also some, oops, almost in line there. There's also some up on the ridge. You can see a couple cuts right up there, and another little waste dump up kind of in the trees there. So there's a number of prospect cuts, and the map shows 2 adits. So I'll go on over and see what's there, and go on up to the ridge top and check all this stuff out. I'm looking back over toward that equipment that's over there on the slope. You can see that flywheel, the boilers. There's actually another boiler. I think it's right about in there. It's behind the little bushes. You can't really see it. I've come around on this little trail to the main adit, or at least one of the main adits. I think there's another one up the hill from here. Indeed, it is closed. You can see these rails come out, extend out here to the end. This is driven in granite. I really don't see too much on the waste dump as far as metals or anything. There might have been a quartz vein or a pegmatite vein or something. In any case, there's a little trickle of water coming out here. See the grass growing around it. And I'll get a sample of that. There's really pretty minimal. Looks like maybe half a gallon a minute, if that. Kind of goes out down over the edge of the dump and just seeps into the granitic rock. So I'll get a sample here, and then I'll go on up and take a look at these workings up above. You can also see a big cut up here on the slope. It appears to be just a dozer trench cut out of the hillside there. I think they were just prospecting. Some more cuts up the slope there. There's an old wagon road that comes in. You can see it going up the hill over here. around that point, and then switches back and goes on up, and that goes on up to Florence eventually. Florence is about another 7 miles up here to the north. The trail that comes in here is about 3 miles long. Trail miles, we're only probably about a mile to a mile and a half back off of the river. So it's a pretty windy trail. It took about an hour and a half to hike up here, and we gained about 2,000 feet in elevation. Well, I've come up the hill about 100 feet or so. I'll look on the map and get a better elevation. And this is the second adit that's shown on the topo map. You can see here it's kind of sloughed out, a lot of cave debris down below me. I'm back probably about 20 feet from where the portal used to be. You can see this head wall above me here. And then right at the base of it, there is an opening down in here. There's enough of a crawl space that somebody could easily slide down there and crawl in. Probably isn't going to show a whole lot here. You can see a little bit of a narrow opening there. So this one actually is open. Who knows what it is back in under or how far it goes. I'm getting up close to the top of the ridge, so probably isn't too long, but it is open. There's also the trench that I mentioned before. I did check that out. It's a deep trench. It's maybe 150 feet long, kind of curves parallel to the hill and then curves up the hill. And it's about 10 feet deep. It really isn't much of a problem. Maybe a little bit of erosion going on in it, but other than that, it's really not a problem. I'll go on up the hill and see what I can find up above. I'm looking back down toward adit 1. It's down below through the trees there. I don't know if that's going to show or not. The rails are sticking out on the dump down there past that big tree in that bright area. Adit 2 is right below me here. This is the one that has the real narrow slit of an opening. It's probably about 4 to 5 feet wide and about a foot to a foot and a half high. So it's not real big. The trench is over there. You can see a kind of the cut on this side of that pine tree there. It goes up and up to the top of the ridge. Then there's a dozer trail that comes down here. And I'm right on the ridge top, and this is a large cut. It's just a dozer cut that goes clear across the ridge. There's a little bit of quartz vein material here, but not a whole lot. And we have a blue grouse up in the tree. And I'll walk over here and look out the other side. I'm looking kind of east right now, so I'll get through this cut and we'll look down the other side of the valley. Well, I'm on the east side of the cut looking up the Salmon River. The road kind of ends. The road that follows up the Salmon River ends about down in this area somewhere. It may go a little bit further, but not very much. You can see on that, I guess on that green slope up there, there's no longer a road. So I think that's about the end of the road right there. The bridge is down below me here. Again, looking back through here, you can see this large dozer cut. If I look down this other side, and I'll kind of go down here in a minute, there's also a cut down over here. And that actually may be the other side of that adit that comes through. So we'll go down and take a look. This cut's about 180 feet long across the top of the ridge. A little bit of water pooled here on top. That's probably just from rain or snow melt just sitting on there. It's really not anything of a problem. So we'll go on down and take a look at these other cuts, and that really should be about all there is here at the Bullion. Well, this is still at the Bullion mine. Right on the top of the ridge there, you can see the cut that I just videoed. And this is that scarp down below it. Looks like it's just a dozer trench, fairly deep one in here. It's possible it could have been a caved adit back over here, but just looks more like a trench. There is a pile of really oxidized material out here. And I'll go out and look. You can see just this material right here looks significantly younger, not younger, but fresher, as though it was excavated at a later time than the rest of these workings. I'll go out and show you the other pile, and then there's also, looks like a little notch down below I better go check out. Okay, this is the kind of oxidized material right here. It's just piled up along this old trail. This is probably the end of the old wagon road that came in here. These are old patented claims that have been acquired by the Forest Service. The little trench I was just at is down over here. You can see this little berm of this oxidized material comes all the way around here. Looks like it may have a little pyrite in it, but I really haven't seen any mineralization to speak of. A little bit of quartz vein. The little scarp appears to be right down over below me here. I think there's a trail that goes down there, so I'll wander down there and see what I can find. Well, I'll do a quick finish up overview of the Bullion mine here. I did check out this other little pit, and it appears to be either a small caved adit, small working, or just another dozer cut. I'm assuming it's probably a dozer cut. It really wasn't anything of a waste dump. The trail comes up along that side. You can see where it kind of comes in. It becomes part of a wagon road that comes to the mine. You can see the piston compressor over there. And the tank Adit 1 was then down kind of in behind this little rock ridge here. Adit 2 is up above, about up in there around the point. Here's the pile of fairly oxidized material, and above that you can see the cut across the nose of the ridge. And then right in this there's a little bit of a swale here on the ridge top just before it drops back down over. And this is where this little access bulldozer road goes down to this other cut. And then right at that waste pile there's another road that goes down on the east side to a cut. So that pretty much wraps this Bullion mine up. Again, Florence is just up and over the ridge top here, several miles, looking off toward the west, toward the Seven Devils, maybe even a few of the peaks visible up over there. Not sure if that's up in the Seven Devils or not. In any case, that's west down the Salmon River drainage, and on around to the east and up the Salmon River drainage. Still a little snow up high. This is only toward the end of April, and that should finish up the Bullion mine.